It is easier to blow up on YouTube right now than it has ever been before, especially as an educational content creator or somebody trying to use the platform to make money. You've probably just been throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks, and that's a valid strategy up to a certain point, but there's a repeatable formula that you can follow starting right now that will blow your channel up on YouTube. I've witnessed firsthand dozens of small channels go from 0 views to hundreds of thousands of views using these steps right here. I'll show you how to do it right now. First and foremost, you have to realize that the discoverability on YouTube is higher than it's ever been before. You might have seen a lot of big channels complaining about lower views, and that's actually a good thing for you. The thing is, the YouTube algorithm is giving smaller creators the chance to compete with those bigger creators. It's giving some of their views to the smaller guys. To blow up like these bigger channels on YouTube, you have to capitalize on this opportunity through repetition of similar formatted videos. What does that even mean? Well, you need to dial in your videos to serve one specific type of person and solve one specific type of problem for them. You want to do this each and every week, at least one time, maybe even multiple in the same format, so like the same length of video, same style. You can think of building your channel kind of like building a weekly show. If you watch a specific TV show once a week, you're going to come back each and every week to watch a similar episode to the one before, right? You're not going to go from one week watching a comedy show for 30 minutes and then the next week you come back and it's a drama that lasts 45 minutes. It's totally different. You need to make your content similar to this. You want to make it in the same format. So if you make talking head videos, you need to come back each and every week in a talking head format. You don't want to go from a vlog channel one week to a talking head or any other style video the next. It just doesn't make sense. Nobody wants to watch that. You also want to keep the length around the same amount of time. You don't want to go from a 15-minute video one week to a 35 the next because it just doesn't line up. It doesn't make sense for somebody to come in and binge your videos, and they're all different. They obviously need to have different content, but they need to be similar in length because that's what they're expecting to see. I like to keep my videos within the same 5-minute window or something like that. Just don't skip from 10 minutes to 45 minutes or an hour or 90 minutes. It just doesn't make sense. Now you have to think about how you're going to solve that one specific type of problem for that one specific type of person. You have to think about who that type of person is that you want to serve. I'm mostly going to be talking about educational content here. So how do you solve an educational problem for one specific type of person? Well, first of all, your educational content needs to be highly niched down. What you don't want to do, say if you're trying to be a fitness influencer and teach people how to be more fit, eat better, stuff like that, you don't want to make a video here about that and then the next day you go and make a video about how to journal or something. If you're like an overall self-improvement creator, you could probably do that, but you're not. You're a fitness influencer. It's different. My target audience, or the person that I'm trying to solve a specific problem for, is a guy named Nick. He's a guy that grew up watching YouTube and now he wants to make YouTube videos of his own and he wants to make money off of them by teaching somebody something. He is helping others with a specific problem and I'm helping him solve his problem of being successful on YouTube. You need to map out your target viewer and what specific problem you want to solve for them. Once you figure that out, you can pretty much go hard on content. To start this process of going hard on content, you need to think about first the big idea of every video. Now, Mr. Beast is a special case. He's in the entertainment niche and he's like the biggest creator ever. But what he says is that the idea is the backbone to every single video. If you don't have a good idea, you don't have a good video. So how do you consistently find good ideas for your videos, especially when you're so far niched down within your educational content? Well, the Outlier Method is a good place to start. To do this, you need to do some research. You need to start researching videos in your niche and in those niches that are adjacent to your niche that are absolutely blowing up. You can use the Chrome extension of vidIQ to look at like the outlier scores of each and every video, or if you pay for it, you can actually see a list of outliers. You can search for them, stuff like that on the vidIQ platform. But what I do is I actually just scroll through YouTube, scroll through the niches that are adjacent to mine and even in mine, and I look at that outlier score on each and every video. The higher the multiplier there, the more of an outlier that video is for the channel that posted it. Whenever you make a list of these outlier videos, you can literally break each and every one of these down into like a topic, a title, and thumbnail that you can pretty much replicate. You're not really replicating it, you're stealing it like an artist. You're using that title framework and you can use that thumbnail framework as well. The best example I can give of this is this video itself. It's modeled after a video titled "Instagram is in easy mode, anyone can blow up," or something like that. I'll put a picture of it on screen. What you have to do is insert your topic into that title framework of that video. Back to that fitness influencer example, you can literally insert "fitness is in easy mode, how to grow in 2025, whatever," something like that. By modeling these outlier videos, you have that much more of a chance to blow up because they're already proven to have blown up. You don't want to be copying their videos, like I said, but you want to be modeling that framework. So now that you have this list of outlier frameworks, you have to think about the topics from your niche that you can insert into the framework. framework. To get more ideas and to not be repetitive, I suggest that you truly live within the niche that you're teaching people how to do stuff in. That means constantly doing what you're teaching these people to do. So if you're a fitness influencer, going to the gym and talking to people, talking about their problems. Somebody that's teaching others how to run Facebook ads should be actually out there running Facebook ads, because how are you going to learn anything about it or teach anybody about it if you don't know how to do it? When people are posting about your topic in communities, or you're just talking to them in person because, you know, not everything's online, there's constant content ideas right there. People are posting questions of how to do such and such. Well, you can make a video on that. If you're a fitness influencer and you're at the gym and somebody comes up to you and asks a question like, how do I do this? I'm a college student. I work full-time on the side. How do I stay fit? How do I build muscle? Well, there's a video right there. You can plug that into an Outlier framework and have an excellent video right there. Or you can experiment with your own title. Just make sure it's a good one. Thumbnails are also very similar. If you're using an Outlier framework, you can literally model after their thumbnail and you can have success right there. Or you can look within your niche and see what's working thumbnail wise and kind of model one of those. Whenever you do that, you want to follow kind of the traditional thumbnail advice, and I'll kind of give you an example here. You want to use your face with some sort of expression. Don't go crazy. You don't want to look like Mr. Beast on his thumbnails. You're an educational content creator, not a entertainment guy. Make sure you use bright, bold text that stands out from the background and you can actually read on something as small as like an iPhone. That's where most views come from after all. Just make sure you don't make your thumbnails overly crowded. You want to make them easy to understand. People scrolling through the homepage of YouTube need something to catch their eye, but they need to simply understand it. And that sets a lot of people apart from their counterparts that have these overly crowded thumbnails. All right, now that you got your packaging, you got your title and thumbnail figured out, you got to think about the hook of your video. The most important part of your entire video is that first 30 seconds, the hook, the intro, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to lay out my hooks framework for you right here, and then I'm going to give you an example, so just bear with me here. To hook a viewer in, the very first thing you want to do is to confirm the title and thumbnail in that very first sentence. You basically just want to mirror that title in some sort of way so that they know that the video they clicked on is the one that that title and thumbnail showed. After that, the second and third sentences kind of need to talk more about your topic, but they also need to introduce that pattern interrupt and a twist into the value that you're going to provide them. Then lastly, the last necessary part of your intro is going to be a credibility statement. Basically, all this is telling your viewer why they should listen to you of all people. All right, I'm going to give you an example. Let's go back to that fitness influencer thing we were talking about. Say you're making a video on how to build muscle while in a calorie deficit. You can start by saying something like, you might think building muscle while in a calorie deficit is impossible. That's going to mirror your title and whatever you had in your thumbnail. Then you're going to say, how can you build tissue while you're eating less than your maintenance calories? This seems impossible, but I'm here to tell you it is completely possible if you follow these 5 principles that I'm about to tell you. That's your second and third sentence. It's going to be more about your topic, and then that pattern interrupt and twist into that value you're giving them. The value you're giving them being those 5 principles to follow to do this, to solve this problem. Then you need that credibility statement. For this one, you could say, I know this works because I've done it myself, and then show pictures on screen of like a transformation you have from going like fat to skinny with muscle, something like that. And then you can say, but I've also coached over 20 guys just like you to get bigger while cutting, or anything like that. You saw what I did there. I did exactly what that framework lines out. And by the way, you can download this hooks framework at one of the links in the description. It's just going to be down there. You just click on it, put your email address in, and there you go. I would go through this checklist every single time you make a video. Now that last sentence, the credibility statement, is going to be like the most controversial part of your entire video. Sometimes you're trying to teach something that you haven't actually done. So like me, I don't have Mr. Beast levels of fame on YouTube. I don't have millions and millions and millions of subscribers. That's why I say something like, I've studied the top creators on YouTube and created this system based on what they do. For the bodybuilding example, if you wanted some of this research credibility, I like to call it, you could say, these scientific studies say you can do it this way, or something like that. Just make sure that you actually have something to back that up with. You don't want to be lying to your viewers. And once you're into your video, once you're past that hook and intro, you just want to be yourself. Authenticity on camera is much more important than a rigid camera presence. Scripting word for word is completely overrated in my opinion. If I were you, and this is what I do, I make a bullet point list and then I talk off the cuff, I riff off these points on camera. This is an invaluable skill for life in general, like social situations, talking in public, but also you want to be not a stick in the mud. You don't want to be reading this off this teleprompter right here. I don't know what this is going to sound like. You don't want to do that on a YouTube video, especially not when you're trying to teach somebody how to do something, because you could have just be reading a ChatGPT chat log or something. The entire goal of your educational channel is going to be to teach people about this certain problem you're solving for them. So you really need to be as knowledgeable about it as possible. You want to be able to talk about it by yourself without these notes over here. Let me know what you think about scripting word for word if you think that's the way to go, because I don't, but maybe you do, and let's talk about it. Now, as for editing your videos, you don't want to do something crazy. You don't want to have crazy dopamine edits like Mr. Beast. You don't want to be flashing something on screen every 2 seconds. You don't want to do that. You're trying to teach people something, so they need to have an attention span in the first place. You do want to use some sort of retention-based editing, so think like occasional zoom ins on your face, or throwing something on screen every 20 to 30 seconds, or some kind of pattern interrupt like that. At the very least, cut out the gaps in conversation. So you're sitting here looking at your camera and talking about this point, and then you're done with this point, so you look back over here at your monitor over here and you're reading about this. You don't want that in the video. You want to cut that out. Just keep it entertaining enough to keep people from clicking away. Don't go crazy, but you got to have a little bit. Now, to switch it up here, shorts are absolutely OP for blowing up on YouTube, but you don't have the same audience off the back of shorts that you get from longs. For an entertainment YouTuber, shorts could be absolutely amazing. You can make these flashy edit videos that are 30 seconds long and just get people's attention span there. They hit that subscribe button, that's it. For educational YouTubers in specific, shorts are not the greatest. You can experiment with them, and sure, you can get some eyes on your content from that, but the audience that you get off the back of shorts is not as good as longs. People that watch your short videos probably are not going to go in there and watch a complete long. You can take examples of podcasts and stuff like that. There's tons of podcast clips that I look at on YouTube Shorts, TikTok, stuff like that. I don't actually watch the podcast. It's good exposure, but you're not really gaining anything from it. If you do experiment with shorts, I recommend you actually separate this from your main channel. The discoverability on shorts is absolutely crazy, but it actually tanks your long form videos relatively, because you get low long form views when your shorts get tons of views, but you have a lot of subscribers, low views on your longs. It just doesn't equalize. It's not worth it. All right, so now that you've got this entire system lined out for you, you need to stick with it for like 6 months to 2 years of your life. And I'm not kidding. You want to post at least one video per week, more if you have time. Post similar length videos in the same niche, solving the same problem for the same person at least once a week. Consistency on YouTube is key. The more you post in the same similar format, the more of a chance for you to blow up on one of these videos. And if you blow up on one of these videos, your videos are in similar formats, so people can go back and binge the rest of them, and there you go. That's a YouTuber. You can make an entire career off the back of doing just that. All the work pays off in the end if you stick with it for long enough. Now, this entire system is available as a checklist that I've created for you called the Ultimate YouTube Success Checklist. It's located down at the first link in the description. I highly recommend you go and download this thing and use it every single time you plan out a video. You follow this strategy and you'll be blowing up on YouTube in no time. Watch the video linked on screen to learn some simple tips for retention-based editing that will save you tons of time while you are editing. And until the next one, peace.